All right, everyone, let's quickly start with the writing class. All I've got to do is I've got two essays already chosen, written by the students, just like you guys. I'm going to review the essays. The essays are really nicely written, one of the best essays you can consider. So I'm going to review it right in front of you, help you understand how to write the best essay and lot many things. All right, so let's start with this particular question. Take your time and read the question. So some cities are turning public parks and open spaces into gardens for residents to grow their fruits and vegetables. Do the benefits of this, hold on for a second. Yeah. Do the benefits of this outweigh the disadvantages? The question is advantage outweigh disadvantage. Whenever there's an advantage outweigh disadvantage, what do we follow? The very first paragraph, we tell our viewpoint. Second para, we talk about, let's say, advantages. Third para, we talk about disadvantages. Fourth para, we talk about why pros outweigh the cons or the vice versa. Fifth paragraph, opinion. This is very, very important for the question. And when you say advantage outweigh disadvantage, you talk about very effective advantages and you talk about less effective disadvantages. And for fourth paragraph, you can talk about why advantage outweigh disadvantage, because these disadvantages are not so effective. You can overcome them through these measures and hence advantage outweigh disadvantage. This is the structure we usually follow. But let's say if this person has followed the same. This person is struggling with 6.5. The rest of the modules, she has got 8, I believe. She's actually written very nice essays. So let's read. Some cities, not all, some cities are turning the open spaces and public parks into gardens for residents to grow their fruits or vegetables. So she told drawbacks outweigh the benefits. She told the other way. There are, effective disadvantages, costly disadvantages than the costly advantages. So now she has to prove the same. Okay, first she told advantages, then she has written disadvantage. And she has to write disadvantage outweigh advantage. So she has to talk about more effective disadvantages than the advantages. So let's see what she has written. One of the main advantages of converting public parks and open spaces to gardens for community members to grow their fruits. Don't write like this. One of the advantages of converting public parks. Where is that? Here. Not required, don't have to copy paste the entire question. Correct? Don't really have to copy paste the entire question. Is that they can enjoy fresh and nutritious food locally. Excellent idea. If you convert every public space in public space and the public parks into gardens, they can experience locally grown food. This is because when such opportunities to cultivate various produce exist locally, long transportation is not required. Thereby, the freshness is preserved and nutritional value, correct? Furthermore, if the food is grown and processed organically without pesticides, artificial fertilizers, and preservatives, it enhances overall health benefits. So this is a wrong idea. Can anyone tell me why it's a wrong idea? Anybody? This is not a great idea, probably because even if they grow locally, they can add pesticides. Pesticides have to be added, otherwise they cannot get it. A lot many things to it. So when you're not confident, don't try it. That is enough. Adding freshness and nutritional value is enough. This doesn't seem to be a great idea. Why do you want to write two ideas? One idea is enough, man. Correct? So if the food is not grown locally, if the food is grown somewhere, they will definitely add pesticide. They also may not add. They also grow organic. Organic is there. No? So this is not a great idea to be considered. For example, the Eco Garden project in Hyderabad, India transformed vacant land into organic garden. So organically also you can grow, one of the ideas, but it's not a great idea to be considered. See, here they have told about long transformation. Transportation is not required. Preserving the freshness and nutritional value. You have any example? Did you recently, experience this cultivation wherein the fruits were really fresh? Yeah, for example, not written. Is getting it? What example is written? Organic garden providing residents with pesticide-free fruits. That is second idea. First idea is discontinued. And many people with food allergies have found their symptoms lessened. 100% cooked up story. How it is lessened, not written, just stating the facts. You state the facts, you become number one in the quiz competition. You state the facts, IELTS will not get the scores. Because getting it right, getting the IELTS good bands and becoming number one in quiz competition are two different things. Remember this. However, I firmly believe farming requires a lot of time, effort, and expertise to yield desired outcomes. Never write this just to prove disadvantage, outweigh advantage. Don't have to write this. You have this paragraph pause, separate paragraphs where you explain why the disadvantage outweigh the advantage. Take your time and do it. Here you told so many things, and in the end you told it requires a lot of time and expertise. No, that's not a great thing to say. And trust me, this pesticide wala point, I'm not really okay with this entire thing. Your example is not great. This idea, nutritional value and freshness, was indeed a great idea. And if example was continued along with it, but example is written for something else. So it's not a great one. But yes, the person could have written better, but yes, the person wrote it better but discontinued it, thinking this is done. This is not done. Nutritional value and freshness, that's where you start and continue the rest of it. Correct? Any doubts so far? So don't have to mix up two things. You really want to, then finish the first thing, right? Main idea, supporting idea, example, finish it, and then start the second one. Hope you're getting it. Otherwise, it doesn't add to it. Okay. So here we finished the advantage part, not completely, but yes, advantage is fine to an extent. Let's talk about disadvantage. What is the disadvantage of it? Let's see what the person has written. One major disadvantage is the reduction of spaces for recreational activities. See, the person is properly following the exact technique. Main idea, write it in simple sentence. This is the simple sentence. That's where you convey the message more effectively. Hope you're getting it. Conveying the message effectively is a very important aspect. Let's say you wrote in 3 lines. Inside the 3 lines, you put the main idea somewhere there. It is last. You want to talk about the main idea, put it in a small sentence. Parks and recreational areas are essential for people's physical and mental being. This is to say these areas are utilized mental well-being. This is to say these areas are utilized for physical exercises, sports, picnics, and relaxation, allowing individuals to unwind and enjoy outdoor leisure. If these spaces transform to gardens, people might lose opportunities for physical activity, which could negatively impact their overall health and may lead to problems such as no man. How it will lead to problem obesity? Farming will come for free, huh? They have to do it, no? So that's what. So think presence of mind is very much required. Probably they may lose this entertaining aspect, and that could be a great loss. There are a lot of different ways of representing it. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Even farming requires a lot of hard work. You toil in the farm. Correct. So may not be a great way of explaining, but it's still fine. And now one disadvantage is done. Second disadvantage has just begun. Converting open spaces into gardens may disrupt the existing ecological balance. Natural habitats for various species are destroyed. This can lead to, which can lead to loss of biodiversity. The point is, you have a garden, there is a butterfly sitting, they're all happy. One is dependent on the other, and lot many, the living beings out there. And you destroy the garden, so all these probably lose their life. Correct? These species often support local wildlife and contribute to the city's ecosystem. For instance, transforming a public park into a vegetable garden could affect the habitat of birds, insects. Correct? Garden is different. Garden is different. Vegetable garden is different from a park. Correct? In the vegetable garden, probably you cannot grow flowers. This is completely different farming concept. But The gardens or the public park probably house lot of different varieties of butterflies and lot many things. Uh, Transforming could affect the habitat of birds, insects, and small animals that previously thrived there. Therefore, I think that recreational areas and open spaces should not be transformed. This looks like a good idea to me. This looks like a good idea to me. But one thing you need to observe, the way it is written. Now, the moreover in the green started with the second idea. Converting open spaces by disrupt. This is a simple sentence wherein the person is trying to indicate the main idea. Natural habitats are destroyed, which can. This is a complex sentence. These spaces often support and contribute to the again simple sentence. For instance, could affect birds that previously thrived there. That is there. So complex sentence. The person is trying to mix the simple, compound, complex. And if you see, there are enough sentences. First sentence, second, third. So it means she's dividing and writing, dividing and writing. Though not a great idea, this biodiversity one, this was enough. This was enough. But this is not a great idea if you ask me, but still the idea is good. Still the idea is good. So now the point is the person wrote advantages, freshness, the veggies. Disadvantages, exercise, no space. And the person wrote may disrupt the ecological nature. So pay more attention. It is not the disadvantages. Pay more attention, please. Outweigh advantage. Because there are two disadvantages, one advantage. No, not at all. I'm telling you, it's the weightage. Let's say these two disadvantage weigh 10 kg, 20 kg, let's say 10 kg each. And this freshness of the veggie is 200 kg. It is advantage outweigh disadvantage. Guys, hope you're understanding. This is very, very important to understand. So now it depends on how you show the things. Advantage is done, disadvantage is done. Now prove why the advantage outweigh disadvantage. Or advantage outweigh disadvantage or disadvantage outweigh. That is the fourth paragraph where you represent your point of view. There are advantages like freshness of the veggies. There are disadvantages. But I believe this freshness of the veggies is more important because the exercise for no space and all can still be fine because anyhow people can find an alternative. Disruption of the ecology can be absorbed, can be reduced by leaving a small garden space for these things. And hence, advantage outweigh disadvantage. Or the freshness of the veggies can still be taken into consideration by, like importing from a neighboring place. However, the disadvantages, exercise is very, very important for the body. And especially the disruption of the ecology. One living being is dependent on the other, and when you disrupt it, it leads to bigger consequences, and hence disadvantage outweigh advantage. In any way, you can manipulate it, but you need to write that in the fourth paragraph. This is very, very important. Hope you are getting, which is not there. Which is not there. So I'm going to give 6.5 for this. This third paragraph is fine. Second paragraph, not completely okay with the things that are written here. The freshness and the nutritious food, and immediately switch to the organic food, pesticide free, and lot many things are mixed. So with that itself I would give 6.5. Plus this is not clearly written at all. Directly in the opinion, the person is trying to say why disadvantage outweigh advantage. While transforming parks and open spaces into gardens can promote local food production with enhanced nutritional benefits, the laws of recreational remain significant advantage. How? See, in the opinion, person is just concluding. How is not? That is the question. This is not written. Guys, hope you are getting it. It can promote this, while the laws of, the recreational areas and natural habitats remain a very significant disadvantage. How? That is the question. Not written here, wrote advantage. Here wrote disadvantage. In one line told disadvantage outweigh advantage. No marks. This is going to be very less marks now. This is very, very important. Guys, getting it? Getting it right? Any doubts so far? This is very, very important. If you write this properly, then you get better marks. So now may I expect you guys to write the fourth paragraph? Okay, before we get into that, let's finish one more essay. It's nicely written, perfect, probably band-aid essay. Let's finish this and then I will come back to this particular why disadvantage outweigh advantage para, wherein you need to write some main idea, supporting idea, example, and lot many things. We'll come back on this in a short while. The next essay, but by the way, any doubts on this essay, you can let me know, please. Anybody? Great. All right, so we will move on to this one. Thanks, Ashrit. Some people feel that those who are over 65 years of age should not be allowed to work at all. Others feel that they need to be allowed to work. Discuss both the views. So now in one view, you cannot say they should be allowed because they have this advantages. In the other view, simply don't say the opposite because just now you're telling few things. So whatever you say here should not contradict in the next paragraph. Some people feel those who are over 65 years of age should not be allowed to work at all because problems, man. They will not be good at it. They'll be lethargic because after a certain period of time, people will not be very active. They'll not be able to use the brain to the next extent, especially the work which involves a lot of physical activity. They will not be able to do those. So, as a result, it's common why some people feel that people who are over 65 years of age should never be allowed to work. But others feel that they need to be allowed to work because they are the source, they are the leaders, they are the one with lot of experience. Correct? Even if they're not able to do any strenuous activity, it's totally fine, but they can manage the things. They should be allowed. This is the idea that I want. And you're right, that will get the marks. Let's see how this person has written. Some people argue that citizens who are over 65 years should retire from work, while others opine that they should not be stopped from working. Same thing here, whatever is written here and there, just mixing few things. The person has written perfectly fine. Although senior citizens may deliver less efficiency at work, I believe they have more experience and deep knowledge, which can significantly contribute to the organization and not required, man. Anyhow, you're going to write that in the next set of paragraph. Give your opinion. Again, you need to write 5 para structure. Para 1. Viewpoint. What is a viewpoint here? I'll discuss both the views and give my opinion. That's it. Para 2. First side. Para 3. Second side. Para 4. Conclusion. No opinion. This is very to the exponential of infinity times important. Para 5. This is conclusion. If you're missing out on this opinion, perhaps you're missing out on a lot of marks. Trust me on this. And this is not required. This anyhow you're going to write next. You can directly say this essay will discuss both the sides, both the views followed by my opinion. Finish it off. Intro. Don't have to worry a lot. Now we'll talk. On one hand, over 65 years of age should be allowed to work. On one hand, one reason why proponents of the notion that seniors should not work after attaining the age above 65 assert that I don't. See here, assert is the verb, proponents is the noun. Why proponents think that? Why proponents assert that? But in between, why is this lot of things not required? On one hand, one reason why proponents are of the notion that seniors should not work after attaining the age. This is becoming so difficult. So we will change it everything. On one hand, one reason why proponents feel, why proponents think or why proponents are in favor of working after 65 is because old people can be less productive. Try to write as less as possible. You don't have to copy paste the entire question. Correct? One reason, on one hand, one reason why proponents are in favor of working after 65, favor of people working after 65. You can add people working after the age 65 is because old people can be less protective. See, the two lines we converted into one line. This is because older individuals may have health issues. Supporting idea is going perfectly fine. And reduced or diminished energy levels, making the work challenging. Making ing gerund came, this is going to be a complex sentence. The first gonna be the simple sentence. For instance, she's adding an example now. You have any example where a person over the age of 65 is working there and is not able to be, like produce a productive work because of that company completely gone case? Explain that. Professionals like delivery workers or truck drivers can be physically arduous. Professions like can be arduous means so difficult because it requires lifting, carrying, and walking to load and unload cargo. Additionally, older people may struggle and be reluctant to perform brain stimulating jobs. See, that's what. So, professions like delivery workers can be physically arduous because it requires blah, 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 blah. This means it becomes impossible for elderly to take part in it. Over, if you really want, additionally, older people may struggle and be reluctant to perform brain stimulating jobs which require them to adapt to new ways of doing things and learn new technology. So, this is the new idea that she has brought in, thus hindering productivity at work. However, I believe restricting a person to work based on age is against it. This, I don't know why she is writing this on the last line. This is wrong. And now, additionally, see, the point is she wrote an idea, supporting idea, instance. After that, she's again want to write one more idea, but she doesn't want to write much of supporting idea for this. Then coherence cohesion wrong. No, one idea is enough because old people can be less productive because they have health issues, reduced energy levels, making work challenging. For instance, profession like delivery workers, blah, 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 cannot lift or carry the cargo. This means it becomes impossible for the elderly to take part in such activities. And therefore, many are view that elderly should not be allowed to work post 65. Done and dusted, you get full marks. You add extra and don't complete the criteria of the evaluation, then you get less marks. Getting it, sometimes it's wise to choose less number of words to write. You write more mistakes you make. Correct? You write less, you make less mistakes. A general philosophy. It is enough, perfectly written. Otherwise, also fine, but I was not convinced with halfway through sentences. Additionally, she has written and she has not completed, so better to avoid them. Correct. If you write additionally and talk about their brain problem, they will not be able to perform, then give an example. Correct. A person, a coder is not able to code faster. As a result, company gone case, company productivity gone case. All this reflect the need to replace them with youngsters. Something of that you need to write, otherwise don't write. Correct. Now we'll come on the other hand. We need to talk about second side. Why others feel that they need to be allowed to work if they don't work on the strenuous activities. Who cares? It's okay. Let them not work, but let them do leadership. No, because they have a lot of experience. Isn't it, guys? So the same thing comes here. People, this is the right idea. You write any other idea, most probably you're gonna get 5.5. The best part of this essay or this person is she has chosen the right ideas. Correct. People who oppose this restriction argue that no, you cannot write this restriction. The word pronoun cannot reference the previous paragraph. It can reference the previous line, not the previous paragraph. Uh, People who oppose the restriction, not clear. Probably she should have written or he should have written. On the other hand, people who argue or the sentences she has chosen in the beginning is different. So that's the reason making a sentence with that short sentence is difficult. So on the other hand, many argue that prohibition to work based on age, that's all, is discriminatory and against the fundamental right to earn and live. That is, this is to say that as long as older people are capable of earning a living, they should be allowed to work. Others feel that they need to be allowed to work. Until here, the person has not written anything new. It's all fancy sentences. Same thing, whatever in the question, same thing. Why you think that others feel they need to be allowed to work? Probably, many argue that prohibition to work based on age is discriminatory and against the fundamental right to earn and live. That's the reason they need to be allowed to work. Right idea. This is to say that as long as older people are capable of earning a living, they should be allowed to work. Not very clear, but it's fine. She is trying to write a story. Just reaching a certain age does not imply that an individual is not competent enough, lost his worth or strength. Loses, not lost. Correct. Everything should be in the present tense. You cannot simply put in a past tense. This could have been written in a different way. On the other hand, many feel that elderly people need to be allowed to work as long as they want. This is because it is their right to make a living. It is their decision whether to work or not, and there should not be any law governing their fulfillment. And you can continue supporting point saying also elderly people are a valuable asset in the company, and if we make them work, definitely they can influence or guide the younger minds. For instance, now you start that point you can take. Probably she has written the same. For instance, most of the world's top leaders, prime ministers and presidents are old and above 65 years. This means that older people are often most experienced and they can significantly contribute with deep knowledge and expertise in respective field, which could guide and train the younger workforce. Perfectly written. Though the second and third paragraph line itself, she could have started talking about this, but it's okay. She has covered everything at the later point of stage in the example. For this reason, citizens should be allowed to continue to work as long as they can and want to work, done and dusted. They need to be allowed to work. That she has perfectly proved. This paragraph is nice. This paragraph was also good, just that she had written something for which she had not completed. This is perfectly fine, nicely written. Where is the opinion? What is your opinion is the question. And she's like, I don't want to write. You write opinion, no. I don't want to write. Discuss both the views and give your opinion. I'll give opinion in conclusion. No conclusion, you give conclusion. Opinion you give separately, not written. Now, in my opinion, now you need to say elderly should be allowed to work as long as you want. This is because, again, supporting idea. If they can be a great asset to any form, it has to be harnessed. For instance, there are many companies around the globe have picked up pace of growth only due to the higher management completely taken up by it. This proves that an elderly is indeed a valuable tool Any form can have, and he or she. Sorry, I'm just writing it in a flow. Should be allowed to work as long as he or she wants. This is the opinion. This has to be written correctly. And then conclusion will come. To conclude, now you conclude the second paragraph in one line. Third paragraph is in one line. Fourth paragraph in one line. To conclude, though there are people who argue that elderly should not work beyond 65 due to the problems that arises after a certain point of age, there are many bright sides for the same elderly to work after 65 as far as that leadership is concerned. In my opinion, considering all the facts with the aforementioned statements, I believe that elderly should be allowed to work as long as they want. This is the conclusion that you will write here, which is very sorry, which is summary of second paragraph, third paragraph, fourth paragraph. Then it is complete. Conclusion you cannot write in one line, boss. I opine the right to work and all. Don't write in short sentences. Conclusion. This has to be the conclusion. You have to basically prove. You have to basically prove. Any doubts? Any doubts, guys?